So, as promised, I am leaving you a video of me talking about our notes from section 3.5, which is solving quadratics by factoring. I don't feel bad leaving this as a video because we've gone over factoring. You've done factoring in Algebra 1. You might have even done it in geometry some last year. Plus all the steps are written out. So it's really just doing some examples. And there's actually 6 examples printed. I am only going to talk about 2 because I don't want to make you listen to me do 6, but I will post all 6 solutions. So if you can do 2, you should be able to do 6, but I will post the full solution set. So our goal is to find the solutions to a quadratic equation by factoring. I like factoring so much better than the quadratic formula, and that's just me personally. But not every quadratic factors. So if this strategy doesn't work, we have to use the quadratic formula, and it's a good tool to have. But if we can factor, we're going to. So I'm just going to read through the steps pretty quickly, and then look at how we can actually do example 1 and example 2. So when you're given a quadratic and asked to solve it by factoring, the first thing we want to do is look for the GCF. Remember that the GCF is the greatest common factor, and actually if I'm looking down, example 1 will have a GCF, so we'll look at that. Then we're going to use, it says make a big X in the notes. I call these diamond problems. I don't care if you call them X problems, diamond problems, doesn't matter. Then we're going to multiply A and C. Remember that A and C are coming from our standard form of a quadratic. So A is the coefficient on x squared, B is the coefficient on x, and C is the constant. So we multiply A times C and put that in the top of our x. B, the coefficient on x, goes in the bottom. And then we look to see what 2 factors give us the product, A times C, what we got in the top, and add to what we get in the bottom. Those go as our factors, but we have to divide them by A. So remember that if we multiply something in, we're going to divide it back out. Then we're going to reduce those fractions if we can, and write them as our binomials. So this is just the factoring piece. We'll still end up with something that looks like y equals A times x minus r times x minus s. So this is our factored form of a quadratic. So after we go through these steps, we'll have taken something that looks like standard form and we'll get it to factored form. So then the last part to solving is we just set it equal to 0. Well, once it's set equal to 0, we have factored the left side, then each of these factors have to get set to 0. Because if we think about what's happening here, I'm multiplying A times this quantity times this quantity. So if anything is 0, the whole thing is 0. So let's look at example 1. So example 1, the first thing that I notice is I've got 2x squared plus 19x plus 24 equals 0. Well, it's in standard form, and I actually got ahead of myself before, and I said I think that we can take out the GCF, but we can't. 2, 19, and 24, they have no common factors besides 1. So that means we have to go ahead and do A times C. So if I take 2 times 24, I get 48. So I've got 48 in the top. Sorry about that focus there. And anytime I multiply something in, I go ahead and make the fractions right away. That way I don't forget to do it. So since I multiplied the 2 in, I'm going to divide the 2 out, and then the 19 goes in the bottom. So now to go in my blanks, I want to know what multiplies to 48 and adds to be 19. So I would just sit with a calculator and find factors of 48. So 48 divided by 2, 48 divided by 3, 48 divided by 4, and see what happens until I get something that adds to 19. Well, when I did that, I got 16 and 3. 16 times 3 is 48, 16 plus 3 is 19. So now I can bring these factors out to make my binomials. So when I do that, I get x and their sign comes with them. So this is positive. 16 over 2 reduces to be 8. So I have x plus 8. 3 halves doesn't reduce, so I have x plus 3 halves equals 0. And you might remember when we did these before in Algebra 1, or even earlier in this class, I had you rewrite this the second binomial to bring the denominator out front. And you can, but for these problems it's not necessary. So here I'm multiplying x plus 8 times x plus 3 halves. If that is equal to 0, one of these things has to be 0. Either x plus 8 has to be 0, or x plus 3 halves has to be 0, or both. And then these should look like easy equations to solve. So x equals -8, or x equals -3 halves, just by subtracting that over to the other side. So our solutions here would be x equals -8 and x equals -3 halves. And what those actually give us, and I'm totally fine with you guys writing it this way, but what they give us are the x-intercepts. So what we know is that these points would be on our graph. So if you want to write them as points, I'm totally fine with that. And if you just want to solve the equation separately this way and write it, I'm okay with that too. So let's look at example 2. I'll talk about it relatively quickly. And then, as I said, examples 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all very, very similar. So instead of making you listen to 6, I thought 2 was enough. And I will post the solutions to the others, though. They'll be included in the notes that are posted on our Google Classroom page. So again, here I'm in standard form equal to 0. 3, -10, and -8. Their greatest common factor is in fact 1, so I can't factor a GCF out front. So I'm going to do 3 times -8 to get -24 in the top. I multiplied in the 3, so I'm going to go ahead and set up my fractions. -10 is the coefficient in the middle, so that goes in the bottom. So here I have to decide what two numbers multiply to -24, but add to -10. It ends up being -12 and +2. Please remember you can always check this with a calculator. -12 times 2 is -24, and -12 plus 2 is -10. So now I have my two factors, and I'm going to bring them over to their binomials. 12 over 3 reduces to 4, and the sign comes with it. So I have x minus 4. 2 over 3 does not reduce, and it's positive, so I have x plus 2/3. So we have factored this left-hand side in order to get equal to 0. And now I have two values, x minus 4 times x plus 2/3 equal to 0. And that means if I'm multiplying two things together and I get 0, at least one of them has to be 0. It's called the zero product property. So I set each factor, equal to 0 and then solve. So if x minus 4 is 0, x equals 4. If x plus 2/3 is 0, x equals -2/3. So again, I am okay if you want to write that as your solution. I am also okay if you want to go ahead and put them as points for me, because these are the x-intercepts, which we're going to work ourselves towards graphing. So listing them as points might not be a terrible idea. So again, I'm going to post the other 4 examples just so you can see them. Maybe you want to work through them and test out the waters a little bit. And then there is a homework assignment that has a lot of factoring problems on it. It's got some review as well. It printed all on one page, so it's all on the front side of a sheet. I'm okay if you want to do your work on the back. I know personally I wouldn't want to flip back and forth, so I would probably do my work on another sheet of paper. Remember, there is paper on the back shelf in the back of the room, or you can do it on notebook paper, whatever makes you happy. But if you have any questions, just email me. I might not be able to answer you right away, but I will do my very best to answer you before I see you on Tuesday. So remember, your assignment 3.5 will be due on Tuesday.